About time.
I have to tell that story again.
Yeah. For those who don't know, this is the second time we got to record this. Thanks to Magic. Dude's never pulling through for us. He's always got to get carried.
Sometimes things don't work as planned.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it happens. That's life, though.
That's true in all of life.
That's life. You know, speaking of life, Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Great day. Great day. I didn't think once in my life I would be an Amazon shareholder. Seeing it price at $2,500. I'm not spending $2,500.
That's why I never really got in, even like fractionally. I was just like, fuck it, because I made good money on Tesla like a few years, like last like year or two, and then I sold my share like a couple months ago actually, but I did well on that when that stock split happened. So this one happened and it went from $2,400 to like $124, $122. Like that shit was nice.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think 20 to 1 or 22 to 1 stock split. So that I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
Dudes in our group, the lab, multiple people bought a couple shares.
Oh
so,
yeah.
I seen people eating that this morning.
I'm telling you, man, we were spamming it early. When I woke up and I seen it, I was like, oh yeah, it's time. Because I know like Amazon was splitting, Shopify, Google, a lot of big names splitting. A lot of people are getting in that originally were not going to get in.
Yeah. Exactly.
So a lot of new investors. It's nice though. I mean, I'm finally looking at my account like, wow, I got some heat in there now.
That's a long term play.
Oh yeah,
definitely a nice little long term, and that's a short term play as well. Because I mean, it ain't gonna be that long till it probably pops off for you.
Right.
It's gonna be nice. Amazon. Everyone's ordering every day, like multiple.
They got
packages
overnight
a day.
shipping. Like you can literally order something at 8 p.m. It's gonna be on your doorstep by 6 o'clock in the morning.
They got it going on.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Bezos put it on.
Yeah.
He did.
America.
You could call him a monster, a trillionaire monster. It don't matter.
He's made life very convenient. That way you can get anything you want. I really try not to use Amazon for, my own reasons, but I still have to use it at times,
Oh, of course.
It's the most convenient.
I think I've been a customer. I think my first order was from 2013.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got you locked.
Yeah.
You're going to be working for him probably in a
I wonder
couple
what it
years.
would have been if I would have bought his stock the first
That
time.
barcode on your wrist is going to go crazy when you're working for him.
Well, hopefully he just looks at me. He's like, he's been a customer since 2013.
He's loyal.
He's good. Not one of these front runners the past couple of years,
He didn't sign up when the pay got good. He been here hustling.
Yeah, he's been here hustling. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully he'll spare me. Him and Elon, maybe. He's jacked, though. You ever seen pictures of him?
Bezos?
Oh, yeah.
Is he?
I mean, yeah.
He's bald. He's a super villain.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes people piss in their cars and shit. To each his own.
Dude, that's a tough company to work for. Salute all our Amazon workers out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
salute 'em.
You really,
I mean, if you deliver packages in general, UPS, FedEx.
That's hard work
Amazon.
and dangerous.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You're parked on the side.
How about someone that died?
Oh, yeah. Those country roads and you're
Yeah.
parked right on the side. I pass them all the time. It's like, oh, man.
Yeah, I always try to go slow.
Yeah, for
always.
sure. UPS.
You never know
same
who's
thing.
going to pop around that corner.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah, seriously.
Awful. It'd be awful.
Driving's been crazy out here, man. People.
I try to drive less
nuts.
and less.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a later conversation. We'll get there. Well, we have to talk about, historically speaking, D-Day, 1944. Today's the anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about this when I woke up. It's, I don't know if we'll ever get to like a mass invasion to that point where actually boots are going on to enemy soil, foreign soil. But, I mean, obviously we have a lot of reserves and stuff like that. We have a lot of people in the military, but I don't think anything like that could ever be pulled off again. Nothing even of that magnitude. I mean, we're talking about 132,000 troops from Britain and obviously us and stuff like that. It's
Canada.
in Canada.
Yep, some French.
Yeah, some French. Nuts.
My grandpa had a godson that was, close in age to him, like only a few years off, and my grandpa was in the Pacific, and his godson, stormed the beaches and died, immediately, and he was only in the Army for, I think, like a month or two. He's a draftee. He was, young, like he was like 18, 19, and he died like instantly, and, they all heard about, the casualties from that day, and they said, oh, it was light casualties, huge success, nothing bad really happened, everyone was happy, and obviously, it was obviously a big victory, but at a big cost, I think 3,000-4,000 dead, and I'm sure a bunch of, missing or captured.
And I think it would have been even worse if we wouldn't try to go in mainland Japan. It would have been even worse.
That's why they decided to nuke, they said.
Oh,
it would have cost, they were thinking 1 million Allied soldiers. Yeah, I read that somewhere. Yeah.
A million people.
Yeah,
Just
because they
how
were
many people
defending
died
to
on
the
the beach?
death.
How many people died on the beach?
What?
Across all in D-Day. How many people? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think they said 3,000 or 4,000. You gotta think they paratrooped in too. They came from the planes and this and that. So you know, and there's French civilians obviously. There's French resistance.
Yeah.
Germans. Dude, it must have been chaos. Like I read a story about those. You know that Band of Brothers show.
Oh yeah, of course. I've seen
and so a French guy, he comes out his house and he's you know, he thought it was safe and clear. He sees Americans around his house, and he comes up on these Americans, and he says something to them, and they turn around real quick, and they thought he was like a German or something. They shot him instantly, and they almost killed him. He I think he got shot in the head, but he survived, and it wasn't like a super terrible, like traumatic wound. And you know, it just randomly happened. You know, he thinks it's the end of the war. The Americans are here, and they mistake him. So I mean, it must have been chaos. Like all the things that happened that day. We owe that day, you know, so much for the freedoms of the last, how long is that, 78 years or something that?
I mean, I'm bad at math.
Yeah.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I mean, that's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, that single-handedly changed the whole
they had
direction of the war.
78 years. And a lot of these older guys have passed, or, you know, they're in their twilight years now, you know, 90s, 100, and I think they said some crazy statistic, like a couple thousand World War II veterans die a day. Like, so they're shrinking. And we owe that generation everything. 100%. I can't stress that enough. I say it a lot, but I mean it. You know, I knew men from that generation.
I mean, that's like you're talking about, like the textbook definition of what a hero is.
Yeah.
I mean,
volunteered.
Imagine being 18, 19. You're getting obviously you're going the selective service. They're like, all right, it's time to go.
Yep.
And then I can only imagine what the pregame speech was.
The Great Depression kids, you know, saved the world.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and now it's like
tough kids.
Yeah, trying to like. I mean, now transitioning to like what we want to talk about next is like how people are just we get in groups or crowds and stuff, and just pandemonium just unleashes. I mean, even like locally and stuff with like St. Mary Magdalene. Then you have like more and more shootings.
I see in Philly a similar thing happen, and Cleveland. People just mobbing like a city bus, and they're dancing on top of it, and they're shaking it. And
now, why is that? Why do you think what do you think the psychology is behind that? To like. When we get in big groups of people where, like, it just seems like law and order just goes completely out the window.
Dude, I think, like, discipline is just so down in, like, a lot of, like, communities and like, households, like, across the country. Like, just people aren't, like, watching their kids or, like, paying attention to, like, what they're doing. Like, they just, like, let them go out to, like festivals and like, the mall alone at, like, young-ass ages. And, like, when we went to the mall, like, we usually had, like, a chaperone or at least, like, someone older with us, like, someone watching us. Like, and I know people, like, they'll be in high school and, like, their parents let them go to, like, Florida alone and, like, L.A. And I'm just like, wow, like, it's crazy. But the whole thing that's been happening lately with the crowd, just people, it seems like a lot of that pandemic, like, lockdown stuff, I swear, like, I think that has something to do with it. You locked people inside so much. Yeah. And they, after that summer, you had all the riots and you had all that stuff, people acting out. Kind of reminds me of that. I think it still, like, effects of that. Like, people don't really know how to act in public anymore. There's no decorum. There's no standard.
Yeah.
Like, when you're out, like, anything goes. It's just, like, that's so, like, terrible. Like, these places are meant for families and people going there to, enjoy their off day and, you know. You work hard to, like, enjoy your time off, and you go to, like, your local festival, and you can't even enjoy it because there's people fighting and there's people getting pepper sprayed. Like what's going on? It's like, what is going on? Chaos.
Yeah, I think more or less of it probably comes down to parenting.
Gotta be.
I would say a vast majority of it is just a lack of parenting, a lack of discipline. I think societal values have definitely dwindled over the past, let's say, 10 or 15 years. I mean, you can imagine when our parents were, our age. They respected the police. They did this and they did that. And I'm not saying you have to be like a bootlicker by any means.
Yeah. They were hippies and shit.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is now is, we don't look at police as the same as we once did. Now, of course, there's like rotten apples in the group. There's definitely bad cops. But there's definitely good cops as well. And that's like the hardest thing too is, how do we get to that point? How do we get back to the point of, trust in our, in the civil servants? Whether it be government officials or the police or your local fire chief, your local police chief, like how do we get back to that point? Because I think now, as long as you have a phone and you can record or edit a certain part of that video and make it go viral, and you only show one part, it's always a skewed image. And I think, you have that to fall back on. Social
Yeah.
media pressures on those people. It's just like a whole conglomeration of
It's definitely a mixture of things what happens. And I think a lot of people don't know how to be like leaders anymore or like set good examples. Like, you know, even just like in your personal life, in your home life. Like I don't have kids. I don't have a girlfriend or anything like that right now. But I have like discipline. Like, you know what I mean? Like we always talk about this. Like you gotta have discipline. You gotta be working out. You gotta be making money. You gotta be having goals. You gotta be having things that are like making you like, you know, get out and do.
And it's about who you surround yourself with.
Yeah,
it really is. Like I know, like we plug like Lab in and stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, full disclosure, part owner. You know, obviously you're in there. You're a part of the team and stuff. But it really is like you got to get around people that are like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you got to have a, you know, I think you do have to have a variety of friends, you know, that are doing different things with their life.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to have variety.
Mm-hmm.
But your core group that you're always with, and I feel like a lot of people don't have that core group. And when you're young, like a lot of these people, they're from tough households, tough neighborhoods, this and that.
Yeah.
And it really it's hard for a lot of people. Literally, they're destined to like fail, and it's sad. But like it's just the reality of how it works. And like some people are more privileged, some people are less privileged, but the whole thing reminds me of just there's nobody like in charge anymore.
No.
Like there's nobody like that like people listen to like
Or look up to.
Yeah, like there's no role models like like that shit's real shit.
Like leadership has fallen and it's gone to the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
It really has.
Yeah,
and that's
it translates down to every level.
Oh yeah.
You know, incompetency, like it's everywhere.
Because I think people now, it's like you only trust yourself. You know, probably way back in the day, you know, it's more I can trust my neighbor, I can trust my local police department, I can trust the people who are supposed to serve me, and we all have this one, you know, feeling of community and togetherness. And now it's not like that.
No, it's gone.
I mean, just think like when you go to when you just go out, how many people actually say hi or stuff like that? Like you're walking through the park.
I feel like
you're passing someone. How often do they actually say hi to you? It's like we have lost like our mannerisms. We have lost our way of communicating.
Mm-hmm.
We have lost our way, and it just feels like everyone thinks like we're so divided, but like we're really not. Like especially around our generation, our cohort of people, I think we're
very accepting. I would say.
Oh yeah,
we have friends of all, you know.
Oh, races, size, ethnicities,
right.
Sexual orientation, everything.
Yeah, it don't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Good people are good people.
Exactly.
But the whole thing that I think we're trying to hit home here is just like people just be really like lost out here, especially the youth, man. And like if you're not like in organized like sports, like you know you always like skipping school, like you just a bad kid out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's don't translate on later in life. And like if you're at these you know public events and just causing the ass to yourself, like you gotta grow up for real.
Yeah, your parents gotta
fighting
step
people.
in.
Yeah, like you really gotta get it together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say.
I know we touched on a little bit of distrust of like people and government and stuff like that. Yeah. And I sent you the article today from the Pew,
we were reading
for the Pew Research. Only 20% of Americans trust their government. More often than not, they say that local elected officials, from the local to the state to the federal level, most of them only like serve their self-interest. And I was interested to see what your take is on that, because I think I'm part of that 75%. I do not trust those people. I cannot stress this enough. I'm sure that there's good people. I'm sure that there's definitely some diamonds in the rough. I'm sure there's a lot of those people that genuinely at heart are probably good people. But when you get to a place where you have power, you have information that is not widely available to the general public, it changes you as a person. And until that changes, until that, you know, that mistrust wherever, you know, it goes awry, gets remedied, we're never going to get back to that point. Because I know, like, for myself, every person that I go and vote for has at least one or two things that I don't like what they did. Or they said something that I don't necessarily agree with. But now you got to pick the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Take the 2016 election. You're going to go for Donald Trump, or you're going to go for Hillary Clinton, or you can vote for third party. But how far is that actually?
Like they say, choosing a lesser evil is still choosing evil.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, trust me, I don't want to have to vote for Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. I don't want to vote for either of those people.
No.
But if you're going to force me into a corner, which basically that is, now I have to. Or let's take it from this 2020, when we have to do it all over again. Trump obviously wins his first term, he's going back for a second term, and then you have Mr. Career Politician himself, Joseph. It's like, who am I going to trust?
The funny thing about it is there some aspects of both parties, they have people that are what I like to call career candidates. Okay.
Yeah.
And some of them have literally like ran like 5 to 10 times on different tickets and they've lost. Or then they get, but the only thing is like it's like they fail up, so they'll get like fucking appointed like something. So Pete Buttigieg, Kamala are both really good examples, right?
Yeah.
They both are bashing Biden in the campaign. You know, they're polling like 1% like each. Like I think Kamala had even less of like 0.6%, some crazy shit, right? You know, fact check me, but. They were both polling that low, and then they both get rewarded with high, you know.
Yeah, he's the Department of Transportation,
right? And she's vice president.
Yeah,
and it's just funny, like there's no standard for it anymore. So it's like, why would we trust these people? These people were literally saying the exact opposite when they were on the campaign trail against Biden, and it just doesn't make sense to me. No. But what was I saying about you were saying Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were the two choices?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Like and what else I wanted to say about that point is like the only people you end up liking if you like the opposite party, they always get like pushed out. Like I was a big Tulsi Gabbard fan.
Yeah.
And like I would have voted for her. Like,
I definitely
if she was a Democrat.
For her. Yeah.
But they pushed her out, and Hillary Clinton actually was the one that took her out. Coincidentally, she said she was a Russian spy.
Up.
Yeah, she ended Kamala's whole chance. That was actually one of the best changes I've ever seen, like, on a stage. Like, she really sat up there and just tore into her, like, the Hawaiian way. Like, she was, like, really, like, subtle about it. Like, it was funny. And then Kamala had no response because, really, she's kind of a box of rocks.
I mean, yeah, she's a piece of shit. Like, you were the district attorney for some city in California, maybe for the whole state.
Not a fan of her.
And you kept people that should have been exonerated, and you're going to keep them in there. And basically, now that's just forced slave labor. Yeah. Like, that's a true thing that happened. Like,
it's sick stuff.
You actually did that to another human being, and now and I don't hear much of her. I really don't. I mean, full disclosure, I'm not. I mean, if you've listened to any of our episodes now, I'm definitely not a fan of this administration, but I'm not a fan of any of them. Really, I'm really not.
They all are terrible in their own way.
Oh yeah.
But this is who we're stuck with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Rather him than her right now, but you know.
I don't know. I mean,
much to be seen.
He's got 2 years left.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid his health keeps up, but it looks like it's declining. But let's say it does keep up. Are they really going to put him again on the ticket? Because I think if they do, that is suicide.
They were talking putting Hillary on the ticket, dude.
Oh my
again.
God.
And I just don't. And if it's Hillary and Trump again, like, bro, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to vote for. I don't know.
That shit's hard. Like, I don't want to vote for either.
Because Trump's gonna be like 80-something years
old.
old.
Dude, they're both. Yes, they will both be old as hell. She'll be mid-70s at that point.
This is my thing. Like, if you can set minimums, if you have to be 25 to be a House rep, you have to be 35 or whatever it is to be a senator or the president. Why do we not have maximums? Like, how can you have a minimum without the maximum? That does not make sense to me. Like, I understand, like, you want to get to a point where, okay, you have a little bit of, like, you know, you have life experience, you've been there, you kind of done that a little bit. But when you get to the point of 80-something years old, are you really, like, 100% mentally, physically ready to go? I don't think so. Because look at those people talk. Trump and both Biden alike. Obviously, I think one's better than the other.
Yeah.
But at the same time, both of them are just too old.
Dude, I was thinking about the other day.
Yeah.
Dude, they are 3 times as old as us.
I know.
That's what I was thinking. Like, that's how long they've been alive.
And, like, how are you going to get to that point? And it really is just a game of political chess. So, like, for example, he talks about, like, Biden talks about no amendment to the Constitution is absolute. He says all of this stuff. Does a little bit of
That's a scary thought.
Yeah. But then he's going to try to win people back with, like, student loan forgiveness, and he's going to do, like, maybe he'll get gas prices down, maybe he'll try his best, who knows. And it's like, it's just a never-ending game of, okay, I'm going to scratch your back, now we can get something back, but we're going to take and give at the same time. We're going to take a lot more than we give out. I think that's the scariest part. And like I said before, I do not trust any of them, Democrats or Republicans. I do not trust them. If you've been in office more than 2 terms, I don't trust you.
There's an old movie and book called Starship Troopers. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's a movie from the 90s, real good. But so basically, if you serve in the military, you become a citizen, and you're full voting rights, okay?
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're not a citizen,
Yeah.
but you're allowed to, live, work, this and that. But if you're a citizen, and you serve, you get all the best jobs, the best housing, this and that. So it's kind of like incentivized. And it's like a future government where it's like a one world government, and it's kind of like America all the way down to the bottom of South America is all one. It's called like the Federation or something like that. And then it's high tech. They're fighting like all these different space aliens, this and that. But I always thought that was an interesting thought with the book. Like, you get full privileges if you serve the country, in some capacity. And I think going back to that leadership, it just popped in my head. I don't know why, but going back into like the public, people are going crazy and stuff. I think like you need more like programs for kids to learn like how to like do a good job at something. How to have some pride with something, some work you put in.
Well, I think it starts in like how schooling is, how we set up classrooms, how we divide classrooms, and what our student to teacher ratio is.
Yeah.
I mean, now especially with like in Ohio where teachers
it's bad.
It's like how can you do that? You ever
30 kids to 1, 35 kids to 1.
Like, you're not on TikTok, I know that, but I seen a video. There's this person who does like salary transparency, and I was just watching it the other day. This guy's a high school teacher. He's been at his job for 15 years. He's done his time. He's done everything he's supposed to do, and he only makes $50,000. I think that is fucking awful for that man. How, after 15 years, and you're literally serving the youth of our generation for the next upcoming generation, for the whole entire United States, how are you only getting paid $50,000?
You have to be in a nice,
a school district.
District.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to. In private school, from someone that came from private school, I will tell you guys, and everyone listening to this really happened like many times. Like, you can ask a lot of Catholic school kids this. We would have our teachers bitch at us and tell us, I don't have to be here. I'm here because, I want to serve. I want to serve God and our religion and this and that. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But you chose to be here and make less money. That is not my fault. Right. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to tell me. Like, they really used to say that to us. And we're in high school. At Lake Catholic, they would say that to us. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you got to get, like I said, there's always rotten apples in the bunch. There's definitely some very bad teachers who are only there to serve their own self-interest and stuff like that.
There's many great teachers, I respected a lot of teachers.
A lot of them, of course.
But there were some bad ones, and I had some bad experiences, but that's,
I think overwhelmingly, I thought I had pretty decent teachers for going to a public high school. But you've heard horror stories and stuff like that. But
I respect you if you sacrifice, that's your own belief, but like, that's not my problem. That's all.
No.
But they should be paid well. Anybody that's serving kids in any capacity, I think down to like the cooks at the school. Like, I had a cousin that was our basically like our cook at our grade school, and he fed hundreds of kids like on his own with probably a small.
And sometimes
staff.
that's the only meals that those kids
get. That's
like
a restaurant.
Yeah, those are sometimes the only meals that those kids ever get. And the problem
they're cutting that, I heard.
What, cutting?
They're cutting free lunch. That's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
Free breakfast or I think it's free lunch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, every kid should be fed at school. That's a no-brainer, dude. I don't care what anyone says about that one.
Oh yeah, if I have to pay a little bit more in tax for that to happen, I'm completely fine with that. 110%.
They already take money away from what you do pay in tax to not do it. So it's like, find a way, dude. Find $16 out of each person's thing, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I just.
There's got to be some figure.
They just have a mismanagement of money problem. Yeah. That's the worst thing. I mean, it's going to go back to. I mean, we can point at examples every single time.
All day.
I mean, we're leaving billions and billions of dollars in military equipment in Afghanistan. We sent $40 billion to a country that's not even ours.
COVID testing kits, that one always sticks to me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No one talks about that.
2 years into a pandemic, we get the tested home kits. Thanks.
Yeah, and we're sending shit to other countries. I'm sorry, and this is like something that like, when we're talking about like American politicians and stuff like that, the one politician that I do like and that I always will like is Ron Paul, because he has always said there should be no such thing as foreign aid. You have to worry about America first.
Yes.
And that should be it.
All the bad roads, bad infrastructure. One thing I did like Biden did focus on, the infrastructure bill, but the bill was bullshit. But infrastructure
they shove so much shit into it. It's like, well, okay, yeah, we're going to fix a couple roads and stuff, but we're also going to give X amount of dollars to Afghanistan. We're going to give it to somewhere else, and we're going to... do all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
But we still got people here that, I mean, our public transit system
Yeah.
isn't the best. Our roads are not the best. Our bridges are failing.
All facts, dude.
It's like, that's all facts. Like, you cannot refute that. And Biden has neglected it. Trump neglected it. All these people down the line have basically
Last
neglected
3 or
it.
4 presidents. And when we were in Michigan, we noticed from all that tax money from the weed, I think they do.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm almost positive it goes into their infrastructure. So
Yeah.
all the bridges were like brand new. You could
Mhm.
tell real nice, you
Yeah.
know, brick and the stone, and it was very beautiful. Like every bridge was very nice when we were going up into northern Michigan on our lab trip,
Mhm.
and I'll never forget that because it's like that's what you do with taxes. You make it work. You know what I mean? You pay it off like a dividend for the people.
Right,
That's
exactly.
what you do.
Now we're speaking of roads. The national average, I just seen this today, the national average for gas in the United States is $4.86. And then I seen this time last year,
Yeah.
it was about $2.19 to $2.30, like right in there, give or take.
God, I miss those times. And I remember it was 180 at the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I had a picture,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll never forget that picture. But I spent $5 the other day. It's
Right.
$5 in Ohio.
Yeah. I spent $5 on my way here.
Yeah.
I spent $5 to get here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously not $5 to get here, but
Yeah, I think they're
$5
right. It's gonna
per
go
day.
up to like 6 or 7, and I'm gonna be honest, like, dude, that's gonna be catastrophic for a lot of things.
That's how you want to know how people, like poorer people, middle class down to the poor class.
Yeah.
That is the biggest tax you can put on someone.
Yeah.
Is their way of life. I need to feed my family, and the only way for me to feed my family is to go to work, and the only way I can get to work is
For most
in
people,
my car.
yeah. Besides these cities, which is what they want to fucking pack us in.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean,
part
how
of the
much do you
topic
think of
as
it as
well.
actually intentional? How much do you think is just like the lack of competence? And how much do you think of it is actually to be blamed on who's in office?
It's intentional, 100%.
You think it is intentional?
I do think it's intentional because of their ultimate.
Because you know, some opponents to what we're saying will say, well, it's like this all across the world. You don't.
The supply chains are definitely messed up. That's we're
Yeah.
not idiots. Like
No,
you
no,
know
no.
what I mean?
Mhm.
But regardless of that happening, the war in Ukraine is as they want to blame it, and Putin and this and that. The thing with the gas to me is that we have 100 years worth of oil
Yeah.
we can pump here. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And we can easily do that. And even these top executives at these oil places are saying you need to open our spigots before there's a disaster.
Mhm.
And when they're telling you that, I think you need to
listen
to them.
Open your
You know
ears,
what I
man.
mean? Open it. And to me, it's intentional because of their whole climate agenda. I think that's what they want the cornerstone of their administration to have is the climate stuff.
Yeah.
Like eventually, in my opinion, they're gonna have climate lockdowns. They're gonna
Yeah.
have like days people don't use your water. They already do it in California.
Mhm.
They already do it in the western states. Don't use your water today.
Yep.
Don't have your TV on today.
Yeah.
They're gonna be doing stuff like this. I
Well, I mean,
swear.
that's the biggest thing. They're going to keep encroaching on you.
Yes.
And keep encroaching on you, and they're never going to stop.
Yeah.
They will always take, and they'll give out a little bit. Remember,
Yeah,
they
chunks.
gave you a $1,200 check.
Yeah.
Then they gave you another $600 one. They'll give you a $300 a month check for having a kid. But do you know what they won't do? They won't stop trying to pad their own pockets. They won't stop trading stocks while they're in office. They won't stop sending money to other countries who probably don't need it or are going to waste it on
Or
you.
hate us.
Or hate us.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
I've seen the
happens every
picture.
day.
We sent Javelin missiles to the Ukraine, and now they're selling them on the black market
Yeah,
for
I've seen that.
$30,000. What a fucking slap in the face!
Hey.
What a slap in the face!
One thing I wanted to hit about the fuel thing too is I think they're adding 5% more ethanol to the fuel.
Ethanol, yeah.
And it's literally gonna fuck cars up.
Really?
It's gonna mess it up more. I don't know the
See, when you tell
you
me
know-
stuff like that, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't seen anything.
yeah,
about it,
I seen that, and
Really?
it was like a big news article.
but
Like
they're gonna push EVs.
that's what I'm saying. Like
listen,
that's what they want.
when I seen Tesla for the first time, I was like, man, I need a Tesla. I want an electric car.
They're cool.
Yeah,
They're
I
very
mean, they're
nice.
definitely nice.
want one.
But
Yeah.
the problem is when they shut off the grid, you're getting shut off. Now, obviously, people will say, well, if you run out of gas, you're going to run out of gas. But at least I can store
They
gas.
will lock them
A lot
cities
more
down
accessible.
in a real way the next time they want to or feel like they need to. Like I've watched so many. You know me, man. I watch all the movies. I read
Yeah.
all the books. I play all the video games about the end of the world.
Yeah.
Scenarios and like I see how it happens, and when you picture that way, they shut down the grid, or somebody does an EMP on us. People don't think that could happen as well. The sun could solar flares, I think they're called.
Yeah.
That could happen. Like, if that happens and you can't escape due to just your vehicle being on that,
Yeah.
you're fucked. You need one of these older 90s vehicles or these ones that are still gas powered. That's why I was so sad to lose my Honda, but you gotta bounce back.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But the EV push is the big thing. I think that's
anytime they have a big agenda for something,
all these little things happen.
I immediately get skeptical. Immediately, they come out. Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
I immediately think, well, why are you doing that? And then I always think of like the worst case scenario, and I hope one day in my life I'll never have to get to that point where I think that way. But until something changes, until they put term limits on these old motherfuckers who are sitting in their chairs just patting their pockets, even some of the younger guys and girls.
They don't have to worry about gas. They're being driven around all day on our dollar.
Yep.
That's
they
really
get
how
drove
it
around.
is. Yep.
They get protected.
Private jets.
They get fed. They have health insurance. All this kind of stuff. You want to see stuff change? My biggest thing is you should get paid in proportion to the district you serve. So if you serve a poor district, you should get paid like the constituents you serve.
Yeah.
If you serve in a nicer district, okay, well, you're doing something pretty decent. Now, obviously, it's going to have its own pitfalls, but I think that's going to be
incentivizes you to build a nice fucking area. I'll tell you that.
it's going to incentivize you to do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Because right now, they don't. The only thing that incentivizes them is to get reelected. And it's pretty easy when you get a D and an R next to your name. No one wants to vote for the I or an L or anything like that. They're never going to do that.
No.
Never.
The thing about it is a lot of politicians, though, and a lot of people do this in general. I'm more proud of you if you can do it, but I think it's wrong when you're a politician to do this. These people, they will hold public office, right? Mm-hmm. But then they will be collecting, money from law firms and other things that either they work at or they do consultation at, and I think that's just very wrong.
Yeah,
it's very wrong. They all your money has to be public, and they check all your stuff out. I just think a lot of them are crooked, dude, and it's right out in the open. It's right out in the open on their money.
Think about this. How much money was given out to politicians on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans alike, during the pandemic from pharmaceutical companies?
Yeah.
Now, whatever your stance is on whether the vaccine works or not,
it's ugly.
Whether you think COVID is actually as dangerous as people think it is or it's not, you cannot tell me that these people are making decisions based on the health and the safety of Americans when they're getting paid millions and millions of dollars from Gilead, Pfizer, GlaxoSmithKline, all of these places. You cannot tell me that they're making decisions in our best interest. They're just simply not. Now, if you want to get the vaccine, you want to get boosted 6 times, I don't give a damn. I really don't. But
I'm thankful we live in the world where it's all open. We can see this.
Yeah, exactly.
How simple it is.
Yeah.
You'd really have to be dumb. I'm sorry. Anybody listening to this, I'm really sorry. But if you thought they had good intentions for you, you're absolutely
They shut
cooked.
down gyms, bro. They literally told people you cannot go to the gym.
Go DoorDash.
Yeah. Oh, Uber Eats. We'll bring it to you.
Yeah. And you can't play at the park either, Logan.
No.
You can't play there. You can't play outside. You gotta wear a mask outside too.
You need to stay in your fucking house and do whatever you can to not go with other
people. If you have a patio, it can be open just for a few hours. There can't be TVs either. Remember?
And then we're gonna close in the patios anyway. We're gonna put them in bubbles.
Yeah.
How fucking stupid.
And then meanwhile, the governor of California goes out to dinner and he's maskless and he's next to 30
Boris
people.
Johnson.
Yeah.
He did the same exact thing.
They're all assholes.
And he just survived today.
And they said that's bad though because his own party voted against him a lot.
Yeah. So. You know what he said though? He's like, if I stay in, I'll cut taxes. It's that political chess bullshit. It happens across the pond too. Yeah. These motherfuckers have no accountability.
They're just so terrible. It's so awful. Who runs the country? You really have to be a terrible person to be a politician nowadays. Almost. I will say this. This is probably one of the hottest takes that I have. People will disagree with this. People will think I'm kind of probably a little crazy for this. But on January 6th, when those people stormed the Capitol, I don't care if it was an inside job or those people were just nuts, it was the Proud Boys, whatever. Yeah.
I'm not saying anyone should die. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, those people in there need a fucking wake-up call. And it needs to come real fast. Whether we got to vote all these people out, we got to come together as a nation and decide, listen, we're going down the wrong path. These people are getting away with modern-day treason.
Those people's hearts were in the right place.
I think so.
I think over
now,
time.
I'm not saying people should die. I'm not saying that.
No, definitely.
I'm not saying they should destroy the stuff. But do
I
some
think
of those
people
politicians
were
need their
right.
ass beat? Of course. They need their goddamn ass beat. Because I'm sick and tired of these people just basically bending us over and fucking us every single chance that they have. I mean, they're not even going to buy us dinner. Because to get to the dinner, it's going to cost me $40 to fill my tank. It is horseshit. I cannot believe this, man. They are literally getting away with modern-day treason, and they're doing it for their own expense. Those people going into office have net worth of less than $300,000, and when they leave, they're making speeches at colleges. They're giving lectures at other places.
$200,000 a speech.
They're getting book deals and stuff like that. Now, I'm all for capitalism. I think you should try to make money any way you possibly can. But when you're a public servant, your life changes.
How about Obama and Zuckerberg and how much land they buy in Hawaii? Those big like compounds.
Yeah.
Like that's like the ultimate like just asshole like move. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like a place where nobody likes foreigners and outsiders. And Obama was born there. I guess you could argue, but like he's not a fucking Hawaiian. Like let's be honest.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't know.
He went to Chicago after that, I think, and he
Did
lived
he?
in like India or something. Yeah, and he lived in Africa for a little bit.
I will say
He was
that
all over.
he's a good speaker. He definitely got a lot of people going.
Definitely.
Because I remember being younger, watching some of his
He
speeches.
got the generation
When-
above us. He
the
got
best
them
speech
by
that
the
I think
balls.
I've heard, and even for like a Democrat, when he got the nomination for the Democratic Party, and I think it was in 2008 or something like that, and he went and spoke, that was a moving speech.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, that got me fired
he was
up.
good.
I was like, all right.
He
This guy
definitely
actually
would have
might
got.
have
He would have got our generation if we was that age at that time. Because
Yeah.
he got like my sister's age and all them.
Yeah.
You know, they always like, oh yeah, he's dope. He's like John F.
But you know
Kennedy.
what? At the end of the day, is they're all war criminals. Every single one of them.
They all
Every-
turn into evil that right when they sign that oath.
I wonder what it's like. You know, they give the inauguration speech. They're going back behind closed doors, and then they probably, like, all the security council people probably sit them down, and they're like, all right, now here's actually how shit gets ran.
Yeah.
And this is actually the reality of things, so
Sorry.
buckle up.
They dropped the folders on them.
Yep. Okay, we went a little off the rails with the oil. But, going back to the guns from the last episode we had, obviously it was a big gun talk,
Yeah.
and this one just happened. New York Governor Hochul raises the age to 21 to buy firearms for rifles, handguns, everything.
It's already very hard to get a gun in New York City. I know that, but continue.
Yeah. And from the article that I read, it says the package, and this is direct quote from the article, the package also makes it illegal for people to purchase and sell body vests, with exceptions for law enforcement and other eligible professionals. A separate bill creates a task force to
Hitman?
analyze. Yeah, basically.
Italian hitman.
You would like the Italian thing. Forced to analyze social media companies' role in promoting violent extremism and domestic terrorism. Now, here's a couple things. Do I agree that you should probably be 21 to own a gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair
I could
comment.
live with that.
I can be, yeah, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I'm only okay with it, though, if you raise the Selective Service Act
Yeah.
to 21 instead of 18.
None of that
But-
makes sense.
But you leave the option open to 18, 19, and 20-year-olds to join the military if they want.
Yeah.
You cannot, like, just having my own philosophy, my own ideological feelings about things, you cannot send your own citizens to war to go die on a foreign soil, but when they come back, tell them that they cannot have a firearm. I think that is ass backwards to me.
Yeah.
I think that's
Or a drink.
Or a drink, yeah. Now, do I think an 18-year-old should be drinking? No, I don't. And that's the fairest compromise.
Yeah.
You raise the age to 21. I think at 21, your brain's not fully developed, but I think you're in a decent place mentally where you can comprehend and you can make basic life choices for yourself.
I don't think selective service really matters though anymore. Like
No,
you
it
know,
doesn't.
It normally
It doesn't.
would though.
But they
It
have the
normally
option
would.
there.
Yeah.
When they have the option, it's always an option for them to use. And you have to be right about it. If we're going to send our own citizens to go die, okay? Because that's basically what you're doing. When they did it when we went overseas multiple times. You're basically sending these young men, to go
Kids.
die. Yeah, to
Kids.
go die.
18-year-old kids.
Yeah,
I
like-
think of myself when I was 18, how immature.
Yeah.
Like, and there's kids that signed up to the military that year. It's like, wow, you guys really were grown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, men.
No,
young
of
men.
course. I'm willing to die for this country. I really am. If something, God forbid, a foreign agent came here and made boots on the ground or try to take the way of life that I know, of course I'm going to join. And of course I'm going to do everything in my possible power to not make that reality happen for them. But at the same time, it is so backwards to me that you can be sent to war and to die in a foreign soil, but in your own home country that's doing that to you, you can't own a gun. The fairest compromise, I'm fine with 21 being the magic number. I really am. Because a lot of these school shooters and a lot of these shooters are young people. But the only problem is there are too many guns in this country. That ship has sailed long ago.
Yeah.
We're never going back to that point. Unless you offered a national gun buyback, and maybe you'll make a dent.
This country was made with guns.
Yes. That's just who we are. And people will hate that. They really will. They'll listen to this episode and be like, these dudes are just typical fucking gun nuts who just, Second Amendment, fuck yeah, all that kind of shit. But
really
it's like, no, bro. Like, I really, truly believe that you have the right to defend yourself. You see how police act now. You see how government acts. Yeah. You see how other people
There's no one that has your back.
No one has your back.
You better watch your fucking ass out.
I want to watch out for myself.
How many people we know have gotten robbed? How many people, just minding their business, walking down the street.
And get shot.
Yeah, it happens all the time. And I wanted to say, with the New York thing, she said something about monitoring domestic extremism online and this and that. These people love being like the information police, and New York is known for having like hip hop police. A lot of their artists always get tripped up. Like being a rapper myself, I always was hip to it. Yeah. Like Bobby Shmurda, crazy stuff.
I wanted to ask you about that though, like the whole YSL thing. Like, how do you feel? I know we're getting off topic. Yeah.
I don't know that much about it. I think someone either snitched or they've been building this case a long time if they got hit with the RICO. Because that's some Fed stuff. Yeah. So they said they were watching him, I think, since 2014 or 15.
Wow.
And then they down there, they have like, I think Atlanta or Georgia, they have their own RICO law down there.
Really?
And it's the strictest in the country. It's actually worse than the federal law.
Wow.
You can, what constitutes, I think, is a gang or like moving as a gang is very loose. Like, it's not the same parameters, so it's very easily get caught up. It was designed that way. Because you know how Georgia is.
Yeah.
They're trying to lock everybody the fuck up. But Georgia and Atlanta are very crazy. I mean, there was just trouble, just got killed. YSL, that little Teed, he died randomly. YSL all gets locked up. Like, there's definitely, there's definitely, like, hip-hop police. And Miami or New York has it. Atlanta has it. Yep. I mean, Miami, LA has it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really. I haven't gone too much in depth.
Chicago.
About it.
Yeah, they have to have it. They have to have it because these people be spelling out the shootings and the stories and all that and connecting stuff just in their songs.
How do you feel about that? Do you think an artist's lyrics can be used against them in court? Do you think that's right or no?
No, that's absolute bullshit in my opinion.
Okay. Now I'll play devil's advocate because usually I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'll play devil's advocate. If someone were to say something online or write something in a book, saying basically calling for someone's head.
Yes, you could say it depends what it is, maybe. Because there's been crazy cases. Yeah, I know. There's definitely been cases where it's like, well, he should be able to be prosecuted for it. He was saying it right there. But like, if you're just talking about like hypothetical stuff and like like you're just exaggerating this and that, and they're taking it serious. That's why I think that's so incorrect. Because rap is a lot of like. What's that exhibitionism basically, like you're trying to be bigger than life. You're trying to have like an image, you know what I mean? So it's like if you take everything literal or legit, like and it's something like that, I'm talking about. But then again, these guys be talking about shootings and stuff like that. It's kind of it's a hazy line to me, but I'm a free speech guy. That shit should be should be protected speech.
I'm a free speech absolutist.
You got to prove that he fucking did it, because he could be talking about some whole other situation.
I think
that's how I look at it.
Listen, they could be lying. They could literally be putting on a front for people and they want to hear it. Yeah,
that's a lot of rappers too. Like even gang looking ones. Like that's what they say. But who am I to know? I'm not in that world like that.
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm a free speech absolutist. I think even the most repugnant people, who have the most hateful ideologies in our country, deserve to have
their little platform.
Yeah. Now, whether
if they didn't knock the fuck out on the street corner. Because they weren't deep enough or whatever.
Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of protection.
Yeah.
You have the right to protect yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but when you say something, you 100% know.
Get your numbers up, motherfucker.
Yeah, you better have a bigger circle than you
Yeah,
had
like,
before.
what? If you got some unpopular shit to say, you better be able to defend
You
it.
ever heard of you know who Voltaire is, right?
Yeah.
The philosopher
Mm-hmm.
or a political guy. You know, like that's the biggest quote that I've always like fallen back to is, you know, I might not like what you have to say, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it. Like I don't like everything. I don't like what the Klan says. I don't like a lot of the stuff that BLM says. I don't like a lot of the stuff that a lot of people say. But do those people have the right to say it? Of course. Just like you have the right to practice any religion you want and to say whatever you want and petition your government in any way you see fit.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to the wayside, unfortunately.
You're losing a lot of those inalienable rights, like the people have laid down for a long time.
Right.
Those are the most meaningful things for all of us. Like we said in the last episode, like you let that go, it all falls by the wayside.
Yeah.
You have to defend those like with everything you got.
Yeah, you have to.
I think increasingly you're gonna see people try and depend less and less on, you know, the powers that be, because you can't trust it.
No, you just can't.
It's kind of
The only person you can really trust now
stupid.
is yourself.
Yeah.
You can only trust yourself.
Yourself and your circle, and most people ain't even got a circle worth anything. So
Nope.
you better get that one established before it really gets bad on
Real
you.
fast.
Because we're headed to bad times. I'm thinking gas lines eventually.
Really?
Yeah.
And bread lines?
Yeah. Gas lines for sure, because I think there's gonna be there's gonna be so much demand, and also you're gonna be people fighting over like the cheap gas like stations, like they're gonna mob them bitches when it's like, you know, like
Like I said, I when I texted you guys, I think it was yesterday. Buddy of mine, dad works general manager of a grocery chain, stuff like that, and he said that the prices will only keep going up, and they're only going to keep going up. They're bidding at higher prices. The gas to get the food is even higher. You know, you're paying a lot more for diesel, so you have to pay truckers more.
Oh yeah.
You have
it all has
everything's
the
going up.
consequence, dude.
And I
It's
think
all a chain of events.
They're going to try to create a feudal caste system where we're going to have a serfdom class, we're going to have a peasant class, we're going to have the extreme poor class, and then we're going to have our bourgeoisie, our elites, all the way at the top.
And then you're gonna have us in the woods when we descend from the woods and we literally do our thing.
Yeah. If you see Red Dawn, you know what's going on.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what the fuck? You're not gonna catch me on that.
No.
They're tripping. They're tripping, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, D-Day being today just reminds me
Oh yeah, you have to.
how people are.
I mean, those people, all walks of life, black guys, white guys,
My,
people who are Jews, people that are Christians, probably a couple Muslims in there, probably somewhere in the mix, probably people that were homosexual, straight, whatever. All those people literally died for the right for us to be sitting here right now saying what we're saying, because we've probably said a lot of controversial stuff. People are going to be listening back.
Oh, yeah.
I don't agree with
God
that.
bless them.
Definitely, that's probably fucking nuts to me. But at the same time, you need to have the right to say, and that's what, like, let's all talk. Like, if you want to be on, you want to talk to us, I'm more than willing to talk to any single person who wants to talk. And either you want to debate a little bit, you want to have a conversation about any topic you want. I'm more than willing to have it, because this is the safe place for it. I mean, you have a lot of other political podcasts that people might listen to and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this is going to be one of the most accessible ones for people to get on that are like us. Everyday people, everyday conversations. We're everyday people. I'm 24 years old. I live in Ohio. I'm a male. Like, I'm not this crazy person. I'm not this crazy personality. I'm just a regular person like the people that are watching and listening to this right now. I'm just a regular guy. I'm trying to figure out life one step at a time. I'm trying to figure out what the meaning to life is, how we're going to coincide with our government where they don't become too tyrannical and our way of life drastically changes. Because those people that died on that beach so many years ago today thought the exact same thing. That no matter what you say, what you believe in, people have the right to do whatever the fuck they want without fear that the government will come crashing down on them.
That's the ultimate, I think, sacrifice in life. Laying your life down for the freedom of others. And it was for Americans, obviously. But when Americans are dying for other countries, you know, that's really like the craziest thing. Like we don't do it like we won't do it in Ukraine, even, for example. We won't lay American lives down in Ukraine because of how we look at the cost of it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like World War II, so many people, you know, had to pay that cost. Like he was saying, for all the freedoms we have right now. My grandpa was telling me they signed up the day after Pearl Harbor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how those people were back then. They wanted a fucking taste of, you
Yeah.
know, they hit us like that. Oh yeah,
They want some fucking action.
You
We're
know,
going to fucking war.
when you stir America up, we're a hornet's nest.
And that's what people don't understand. We spent the most on our military.
Yeah.
Yes. We have so many people.
Our culture here could be something crazy.
Oh, yeah.
When we're
We will-
united.
Oh, we're unstoppable.
Yeah,
We
we're
got to
a
get to that
war
point
hawk.
though, and I think right now we're so divided.
Yeah.
Over the past couple administrations, this administration, we are so divided.
It's gonna keep going that way.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be pretty.
No,
It's gonna be bad. This next election cycle is gonna be ugly.
you're going to need a
Ugly as
national
we've seen.
tragedy to bring us all together, and that's awful. I thought it was going to happen with COVID. I really did. I thought people were going to band together, and then all of a sudden, everything goes by the wayside. And again, we're going to need some sort of attack, probably. And I hate to say that, but I really think that's what's going to have to happen. We're going to need
Someone's
our way
gonna
of
catch
life.
us slipping, just like history's always happened.
Yep.
That's just how it happens. You know, sometimes they get you.
You got to prepare.
Yeah.
You got to prepare. You have to. It's the only way. The strength of numbers. But you got any burning desires left to say? Anything for the people?
Yeah, we have a Patreon page we're
Yeah.
currently working on.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely gonna be dropping that soon. We're gonna be doing some exclusive content on there. You know, if you're in our lab group, you will get access to that.
Yep.
And if you sign up for the Patreon, I think it'll be reversible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get in.
Yeah. So we're gonna be setting that up soon for anybody that supports what we do here. Let's All Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, if you keep the support rolling, we genuinely appreciate it.
yeah,
You're gonna get a
definitely
lot
got
of
a lot
good
of
stuff.
love.
Yeah,
A
100%.
lot of love on that first episode. Our second episode dropped today. Our gun debate.
Yep.
It's gonna be our third episode. We're trying to keep it rolling. We got
And we're only gonna get better. That's the thing. Like right now, we're strictly audio.
yeah.
We're gonna get to the visual stuff so you can actually see like us actually formulating what we're saying. You can follow us on Twitter. Let's All Talk Pod. You'll see our email if you ever want to get on for an appearance and stuff like that. Have an Instagram. Let's All Talk Pod. Everything's Let's All Talk Pod. So look us up. Look up the lab. It's a great place if you're not into stocks and crypto and options and all that kind of stuff. There's a thing in there for every single person. And above all, it's just a community. We hold each other accountable. We really are a community. People will say, oh, it's just another Discord. It's just another, scam. Or they're just trying to get money off of us. I mean, we give stuff away every single month. We got crazy giveaways
We're
coming up.
making money for people.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'll say this too. Like, as someone who's a part owner, obviously, Tokyo's the other guy at the helm. We have not taken out one single dollar from this. We only reinvest. I'm not sitting here patting my own pockets off people who sign up and stuff like that. I really, truly try to get back.
Yeah.
When you pay your $25, I'm trying to give away something each month that is more than $25. Like this upcoming month, I'm going to give away a $50 gift card for someone to use for groceries because I know how expensive it is. The next month, we're going to give away $50 in gas for a gas card. And then in August...
'Cause we look out for our own.
You're damn right we
That's
do.
the community.
Yeah. I mean, we have people all walks of life in there.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yep.
People that are different
You got
religions,
everything.
different races, different socioeconomic statuses,
Yeah.
everything. I don't care what you look like, what knee you get down on to praise to your God. I don't really care. Get in there, and I promise you're going to have a good time.
And let's all bank.
And let's all bank, and let's all talk.
Appreciate it, everyone.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you soon.